Okay. Hi. How are you? How is everything going today? I am going to talk about something really important. It's a big topic in psychology, educational psychology. It's unended, obviously, and it goes back to the actually from a long time ago in the psychology field. It's the environment. Okay, the environment. So the environment is actually a factor that's really important in the world today in everything really. The environment. The environment, you can call it culture, you can call it whatever you want, okay? But the environment is wider, it's bigger, it's more neutral. It encompasses all that you can think about, okay? So so that's what's important here, and it's important to talk about it in the field of psychology. Okay, and obviously in educational psychology field. Okay, so in the sense uh, you have a different a different world or different scope where you think about the different things that has a that has a you think about the different things that basically um, has a kind of big kind of literature review, research has a huge importance. It plays a big role in our everyday life. Okay, so what is environment? Environment is basically everything around us. Really, environment is everything around us. Sometimes we can call this culture, right? But environment is everything around us, everything. So you can from space to the sea, geography, right? Culture is more people. That's the difference. Okay, sometimes there are cultural environments, right? So the environment affected by people. However, it is the environment. Okay, so the environment is different. It doesn't have to have people. Here you have the geography by itself without people. Okay, so you have space, you have seas, you have land, you have whatever you can think about without people. I don't know. You can think about buildings without people. Okay, that can be environment, right? But the buildings were built by people or whatever, or the environment is used by people, right? Now today in the earth or whatever you may call it, space or okay, but um you have that, and you need to have a kind of different a different world where you need to think about here the environment factors. In experiment, usually they try to do it excluding people or excluding the people in excluding the people on excluding the people on the floor or whatever, or the factors of the rather environment. Some experiments are pretty easy and they're famous, others are not, but it is kind of hard because people are doing it, right? So that goes into air. Anyways, this is a nice kind of brief about environment and about experiences with people and different things. Okay, you need to hear think about. Okay, so basically here we have a kind of environment. Okay, so our environment here. Okay, so how does that affect us? Obviously, it affects us a lot. Okay, it affects us a lot. This goes right away into culture, goes right away into different things that we talk about usually outside of the human being. Okay, but it's encompassed the human being. In the last episode, we talked about yesterday the factor of the social entity as a factor, as a whole entity by itself affected. Here's the environment. It can be small or big, or it can be the whole entity environment, right? So here this is important. Here comes in geography, sciences. It comes in different social sciences and culture and everything, anthropology, everything you think about the environment. Why is it important for you to know wherever you are in this field, or if you want to know about this field, because it does affect this field, okay? Culture, the environment, the geography, the institution itself, what we call the environmental policies or whatever, okay? So this also affects it. It's just important for you to know it's really big. Okay, on and on I can go, and it never finishes. There's so much written on it, and it's different than behavior, it's different than people, it's different than culture, it's the environment as a whole. Okay, so it's different than parents, different than everything else. Here, the environment can go to from parents to students, to the different worlds of I don't know, different worlds of the school, education, and whatever you may find. Okay, here the environment, it plays a role in everything you can imagine. That's what's important for you to know. Always think about environment in everything. Okay. Um, Always think about environment and everything, especially that you need to think about it in terms of the in terms of the in terms of um, the most important thing is in terms of um, in terms of the environment. You think about it in terms of something really important. It's the psychology, the education, and everything we're talking about here. Okay, but also more importantly are the students, right? Are they aware of that factor? Okay, some students are not aware, right? So sometimes you may do the student and you may tell them, you didn't think about uh for example, Christmas is coming. It doesn't necessarily mean it's or the holidays coming. Oh, okay, yeah, I didn't think about that. That's normal. And maybe, and that happens. There are many for different reasons they're not aware. Okay, great, it's Christmas coming. Okay, there's a holiday. Okay, great. Maybe they're not a family that really interacts with that. They have other priorities. Maybe no, they do, they have a holiday thing, but they never noticed it. Okay, so that's important. The environment, another example is, for example, did you know that because of the geography, here in Egypt, maybe it's a more desert like. That's why maybe they are more used to, they came from rain and everything. So you have that with the students. So, oh, okay, really? Yeah. So there's not a lot of rain. Maybe you feel kind of it's dry and it's too sunny. You loved in the beginning. Yeah, I did. Okay. Now it's too sunny sometimes. Yeah, and I deal with it. Oh, okay, great. So what do you do? I do like that. Maybe they like that. That's environment. Okay, so they like, or the field. I always I never know why it's so crowded. Because maybe you were a rainy environment, you had your own kind of field. In the neighborhood here, it's more open. A lot of people use it, so it's crowded always. Or no, it's actually, oh, you found, yeah, but I yeah. So usually in that environment, it shouldn't be crowded that day, but yeah, because it's sunny and it's a desert, for example. It's a desert environment, so you have to take that into consideration. For example, that does make a difference to many people. Sometimes no, they know, and there are other issues, but that you shouldn't jump from that. Okay. Another one, for example, is the school. It's international school, so that obviously plays a factor. Okay. So in that sense, you have a different factor, and you have that big factor. Okay, so the environment is really important, but it should not be the determinant, and at the same time, it should not be neglected. Okay, it can be very important as a determinant, and it can be neglected. However, you have to be cautious about that. It's usually in the middle. Yes. So obviously have other things, right? But it's there. Okay, maybe the parents, okay, where did you graduate from? It doesn't make a difference, right? Not necessarily maybe the really experts in the field. It's not about that. It's more about the environment, how their perception is, their approach. their priorities, their I don't know, their culture. Okay, that's important. Yeah, so it's different. Maybe they were in London when they took their degree and they lived in London most of life. And guess where you are? You are in, I don't know, in Africa. Okay, you are in very hot country in Africa, in the Sahara Desert. I don't know, in a city there. Okay, London. Guess what? It's really cold and rainy. It's not really the coldest, but it's cold and rainy. Okay, and it's London. It's a cosmopolitan city. Here, it's not. Let's say I don't know. It's a city in some city in the Sahara Desert geography. Okay, that is very environment. Now, this is literally another one. Environment, just everything we talked about people. Okay, so it is important the little part and the big part scope and that part also. Okay, I just gonna I'm just gonna end it here because it's really big. If you have any questions or comments, you need to please feel free to comment or question or anything you want. Okay, so for example, if you want to if you want to have your own topics, if you want to share here, I would be more than happy. If you have I don't know, whatever you have, just make sure to email me or WhatsApp me, and we'll talk, or just share here. Okay, please subscribe and share, and I would like to other people to subscribe and share, and follow me on my Facebook and LinkedIn and Instagram channels. Have a great day, Merry Christmas, and Happy New Year. Bye.